You're starting to see the crews here, the unions here, everybody's here now, and they're calling it home.
Hi, and welcome to Kelly, where we talk about life, your life and my life. And through Kelly, we hope to inspire. I have Dave Pietro on the show today and Jeff Burdett.
Hi.
I do good?
Hi.
Yes,
all right.
perfect.
Yay. And we're going to talk about your company, Real Cool Entertainment, what's going on with the Atlanta market, where, in our opinions, we need to be. It's always our opinions, right? And we're going to talk about your project, the Archangel, along with other things. So if you'll introduce us to your company and what you guys do.
Sure. Well, Real Cool Entertainment is a LLC based out of Georgia, started about 2 years ago. We saw the industry so many times with people coming in from LA and Hollywood and such, that they would come in, they would film, and then they would leave. And it seemed like the more people we met locally, they said it's a shame that the IP doesn't stay here in Georgia.
Right.
So we actually created this company, Real Cool Entertainment, to create IP for the motion picture, television, and video game markets. This way, it can be developed here in Georgia, shot here in Georgia, stays here in Georgia, and everybody benefits here because I'm not telling you anything new. There's so many creatives here within the state.
All the way up the chain, directors, producers, actors.
Right. And so many people that aren't even really getting recognized.
Yeah.
That can be utilized.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. There's, an abundance of talent here.
Right.
It's just a matter of putting it all to work.
Right.
So we're creating our own projects as well as representing a number of people who write scripts, who write books. So if you go to our website, for instance, you would see on there a number of the projects that we're working on currently. One of our main projects is a Victorian science fiction called Archangel from the Winters and Chronicles.
Okay.
It started off as a web series, actually.
Which is here, right?
Right. This is our novel, which just came out. And again, this shows how transmedia can actually work within a particular IP. So Archangel, though it was a web series, we're now developing it into a full-length motion picture. And also, it is a novel. We hired a New York Times bestselling author, Maya Catherine Bonhoff, which has adapted things for Lucasfilm, DC Comics, and has her own series out as well, called The Antiquities Hunter. So
now, just curious, and my curious mind goes off. If somebody wants to hire an author like that to write, how do you present that to somebody? You just...
Well, we tracked her down just because, again, of what she's done in the past. She is a well-known author, does signings, does conventions, and we thought she'd be perfect for this particular project since she's adapted so many other projects.
Did you have to go through an agency?
Luckily, we didn't. We went directly through her, and she absolutely wanted to do some type of steampunk adventure for many, many years. And when she read the script, she fell in love with it. So the trans media comes into play because as well defined as the characters are in the movie, she's taken them to even another level. So she's added more depth and more creativity to these characters through the book. The book, of course, is available through like Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, and all throughout the world, actually. Pretty much any online bookseller in that regards. But we did the book because, again, it gets more eyeballs on the project itself before the project actually goes and gets greenlit.
Yeah,
totally.
and the thing with having a book, if you don't have a completed project, like coming on a show like mine, it's really hard.
Right.
It's really hard to talk about it. But if you at least have a book, then we have something to talk about. So it's also a selling, a marketing tool.
Absolutely, and kind of building the foundation.
Right.
And because of that, we've already raised 25% of the budget for the Archangel film series, which is pretty exciting, actually.
Very.
And considering that money came, again, from Georgia, and it's not coming from an outside source. So we are looking for the rest of the budget to continue the actual motion picture. But we have other projects, again, in the works at Real Cool. We have a television series called The Transhumans, which, again, could be categorized as the X-Files meets Mission Impossible. So you've got these teams of agents going around the world with extraordinary powers. So it's a pretty exciting series.
So let's say I'm, I have something that I want to turn into a TV series or whatever, and I go to you guys.
Yes.
So now going to you guys, I still have to have the budget to be able to afford what I want to accomplish. Do you guys, do you help with distribution, or is that completely up to the person?
Distribution's at the back end. Luckily, right now, we are dealing with a producer who has a first look with Netflix, for instance. So right there, that's a really nice thing to have in your back pocket.
Absolutely, yeah.
However, we do invite people to come to our website, write to us, tell us about what they might have or some ideas.
And see if you can...
Exactly. If we can turn that into a project for them, that would be exciting.
Right.
For not only us, but for them as well. Because we want to keep this movie making going here. We want to keep the television industry going here. And yes, Hollywood will come here, but God forbid if they stop coming here, we can still create here in Georgia.
Do it from beginning to end.
Right. Yeah.
There's no reason we can't.
Yeah, and Atlanta knows that's where we know that's where we're at.
Yeah.
And it's getting on over that hump, and people collaborating and understanding where we're at and what we have to do, and figuring out what you can offer to that process.
Right.
So good for you guys. And that's the same with the show. The thing that I saw was one. I'm an acting coach. I saw that people don't really understand the industry. They don't understand where they're supposed to start, how they're supposed to start. And the other thing is, we're surrounded with so much talent. Our friends are so talented.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And so, why not create a show that shows other people that we do have creatives here that are really invested. The talk that goes around is, oh, Atlanta, your hobby actors, your hobby filmmakers, your hobby. And it's just, it's not the case. Many of us may have started off as a hobby because that's what interests us. But many of us have moved forward and we're actually making a living doing what we do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Full time. That's right.
Right.
So it's very exciting. I think we're sitting at a very exciting point right now. I know the film industry has been here for a number of years already, but I think we're going to get over that one hump in January and just continue on. And because they're not going to cut their nose off to spite their face just for some silly reason. They're really going to hopefully stay here. They're starting to see the crews here, the unions here, everybody's here now. And they're calling it home.
Right.
Which is very good.
Yeah.
Which is very, very good.
It's tough because when it comes down to it, it all comes down to money and where the money is circling and where you want the money to be and what strings are we going to pull to keep this here and that there, and so politics do unfortunately play into our lives. So as far as helping people with their projects and their visions, do you feel like that? I guess what I should say is when somebody comes to you, how far along do they need to be in their process?
I've seen things drawn on napkin notes all the way to full-blown scripts.
Okay. So you're just saying, bring us the idea.
They can bring us the idea and we can try to nurture it as far as we can take it, and some things will just nurture itself because, as I say, I've met some very, very creative writers here, some comedy things that when I'm just sitting there reading it, I'm laughing out loud. So I know it's got legs, it's got potential, in that regards. So we do want to, like I say, focus on our projects. However, if there's something out there that we can turn around quickly and get it into the hands of a Hulu or an Amazon or a Netflix, because they're all looking for products.
There's never been a better time.
Exactly. So Again, and it stays here in Georgia.
Tell us a little bit about, in closing, tell us a little bit about the storyline.
The storyline is Queen Victoria has been assassinated.
Okay.
And her most trusted agent of the SIS, Brendan Winter, has been accused of a crime that he hasn't committed. So he fakes his own death to protect his wife and his child, and then takes on the guise, the armor, the mask of an Avenger, and creates a resistance in London to take back the country that he loves.
Wow.
So it's pretty much like Batman in Victorian times.
Yeah. Love it. I love it.
Right.
Love it. This is for you guys to
my
remind
gosh.
you that you're a gift in life.
Well,
Thank you so much.
And I
So
mentioned that Jeff was on the set when my husband and I met each other. So, you never know where you're going to end up and who's going
Where you're gonna
to,
go.
what relationships are being created through this industry. If you have some advice to give to another creative, what would it be? And I'm going to give you each, about a minute.
I meet so many people that say, oh, I'm a writer, I'm an actor, I'm a director. And then when I say, what have you written? What have you acted in? What have you directed? They say nothing. So if you're a writer, write every day. Even if it's just, as I was saying to, Kelly, napkin notes, write notes down, put them on index cards, lay them out. Let's be creative here. Let's take this to the next level. And again, don't be afraid. You could write me at dave@realcoolentertainment.com, and we'll talk to you about it. We'll help nurture that if we can. So please, just, go crazy.
Yeah. My studio is Words in Motion, and that's what it is putting the words. It's not enough to have the words.
Right,
you got to put it in motion, and
breathe
it's
life
about
into
really
it.
the development of the actor, putting him into motion. And what about you, Jeff?
And I would say whatever it is you're trying to do, start finding ways to accomplish that. Even if it isn't the big $1 million version you'd love to do, start with something. And we've never been at a better time, like for technology.
Yes.
You can get a decent camera and film something. It might not be a huge budget, but it's going to look pretty good. And just kind of keep working at it.
Yeah. Yeah, because all of us started where we were and with what we had. And, we built step upon step, precept upon precept. You're adding to it. And, eventually you go somewhere.
Yeah, and that's the last thing I'd say is definitely collaborate with people. Don't be afraid to trust people with, working with your vision and with the things that you love that maybe you're afraid to share a little bit because they're so special to you.
Right.
You usually find a very good response and it becomes even more.
Collaboration is the key. It
Love
really
that.
is.
Right, because
Love that.
nobody makes movies by themselves.
Yes.
So it takes a lot of
Yes.
people.
Nobody does anything by themselves.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you for sharing with
Thank
us.
you for having us.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
thank you.
Come back and share with us. When you guys next project you get going, when
Absolutely.
this comes
Absolutely.
out, come back and share with us. We thank you, and we hope this educated and inspired you.